the holidays. Here we go. Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party hop. Mistletoe hung where you can see every couple tries to stop. Rocking around the Christmas tree, let the Christmas spirit ring. Later we'll have some pumpkin pie and we'll do some caroling. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly, deck the halls with boughs of holly, rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone's dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way. You will get a sentimental feeling when you hear voices singing, let's be jolly, deck the halls with boughs of holly, rocking around the Christmas tree, have a happy holiday. Everyone's dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way.
Your tree up and you're doing some rocking, whatever that looks like for you, or at least a wreath that you can pray under or something, all that goodness. So today is the second Sunday of Advent. Do I light the candle now or do I do the daily prayer? Nobody knows. Good deal. I'm lighting the candle. So our wonderful air conditioning system burned last week's candle down. So we've resurrected it. That's coming later in the season. So I'm going to light last week's candle first for hope/faith. And then today's candle is love. I'm breathing too heavy here. Hope's a tough one. There we go. And so today's candle represents love. Second week of the Advent season. There we go. There we go. Yeah. So today's prayer. How do I do this, Jim? So my breath isn't the one that dominates. That's an option. That's always an option. It's not my prayer request, but it is an option. Funny. What's it? I kill you now? What's that? So interesting, the daily word. And I bring this up so that there's some clarity with it. So how many of you read the daily word? Yeah, got a good bunch of them. It's a very inexpensive pamphlet that you can buy a year subscription. It's $30 or something. And it's 2 months each mailing. And so today's daily word is not love. It's peace, which is next week's third Sunday of Advent. Now, interestingly enough, the powers that represent Advent vary from person to person, for instance. So Unity Worldwide Ministries designates the second Advent Sunday to be peace. Well, I've always had it as love, so I'll be darned if I'm going to change. So I'm reading the daily word today for you on love for next Sunday, which is December 11th. So then next Sunday, I'll read today's daily word, which is peace, in case you're following along. So I'll get emails if I don't say something, so I just thought I'd share that with you. So today's daily word, the word itself is love, representing the second Sunday of Advent. And the affirmation is, I answered the call to love, embracing the world. And the daily prayer is, love is both a noun and a verb, more than just a feeling. It is one of the highest intentions I can hold, and one of the most sacred actions I can take. Love is the name and nature of God, the pulsation of oneness from the center of my heart to the furthest reaches of the earthly existence. On this second Sunday of Advent, love is also a call to action, an invitation to perceive the world through the Christ presence and live as the love I am. I open my heart and I let my love flow forth as kindness, gentleness, and compassion. I stay grounded in the presence of God through my prayers, and I radiate love through my kind words and actions. I trust my loving impulses will reach far and wide. The light and joy I send, the light and joy I send forth flow and expand to accomplish all things. And in 1 John 3:18, little children, let us love, not in word or speech, but in truth and action. Today's daily word is love, and answer the call to love, embracing the world. And so it is. Amen. And now let us join together as Miss Donna shares with us Deck the Halls, which we all know, and so enjoy.
All right. Yeehaw! Come on, everybody. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carols, fa la 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 la. Yeehaw! Here we go. See the blazing Yule before us, fa la 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 la. Strike the harp and join the chorus, fa la 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 la. Follow me in merry measure, fa la 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 la. While I tell of Yuletime treasures, fa la 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 la. Yeah. Here we go. Ready? Fast away the old year passes, fa la 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 la. Hail the new year, lads and lasses, fa la 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 la. Sing we joyous all together, fa la 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 la. Heedless of the wind and weather, fa la 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 la. All right. Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Troll the ancient Yuletide carols, fa la 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 la. 3 more times. Fa la 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 la. 2 more times. Fa la 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 la. 1 more time. Fa la 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 la.
The new power is life. The disciple is Judas. The color is red and involves the generative organs. The ability to energize, vitalize, enliven, animate, and invigorate. The affirmation is infinite life is operating in and all around me. Let's repeat it and say it together. Infinite life is operating in me and all around me. Now, for the money part of this, the winner of the change jar guesses will get $150, which is half of the money we collected for the guesses. So that's nice. But the winner won't be announced till next Sunday. So stay tuned. It might be you. And now we have the Christmas sock drive still going on. Susie Sock is requesting socks for adults down to the infant size. So anybody that can, new socks only. So, and today is Reverend Mo's open house. So If you need directions, they are available on the welcome desk. It's from 2 to 5 today. Sign-ups are still open for the area appetizer gatherings, which is next Sunday, December 11th. Please plan to bring an appetizer or a dessert to share. Attention Mahjong players, order your 2023 Mahjong cards through the Unity Spiritual Center. We will place an order through a local synagogue, Beth Shalom. Part of the proceeds will be going to the Leesburg Food Bank, the sign-up sheet in the narthex, or you can acquire a sheet for a group if you have a group of people that are playing. There is a prayer box in the room located on the ledge as you exit to the right. You will find prayer slips and pens for your use. After the service today, the prayer slips will be picked up by the chaplain of the day, Jeffrey Whitman. The chaplains will pray over the prayer slips, and then they are sent to Silent Unity for an additional 30 days of prayer. Unity believes in the power of affirmative prayer. When completing the prayer slip, we invite you to affirm what you want more of in your life rather than focusing on the issue. For example, if you're not feeling well, you might want to affirm perfect healing and health for your body. When we feel overwhelmed with too much to do, we might affirm clarity or seeing things in a new light. What we give our attention to is what grows. So we might as well affirm what we do want with less emphasis on the problem or the situation. There is an opportunity also to have a prayer chaplain pray with anyone who would like to after the service. The available chaplains will be wearing purple stoles.
Just where we give over our attention to that indwelling Christ, that nature within us that calls forth who we are. So just if you're comfortable, put both feet on the ground and maybe even open your palms up to be open and receptive to all that awaits us. I know for some of you, this is an important time in the service to connect with that indwelling source that we call God, or infinite wisdom, or spirit. When we allow ourselves to put aside the busyness of all that awaits us, this is a very busy time in our lives. We just breathe. We just allow our bodies to rest in the chair, letting the chair support us, and we just allow this being, this just connect. Just this opportunity to connect. And if you're comfortable, gently close your eyes and allow yourself to immerse yourself in this moment of connection with God. I answer the call to love, embracing the world. I invite you now to think about what that means to you. I answer the call to love, embracing the world. When we allow that indwelling Christ to be heard through your senses and your intuitive nature, I answer the call to love, embracing the world. What does that look like to you in this beautiful time of a season of expressing the Christ in us? For truly, Christmas is about the birth of that Christ within each of us. And each year we get to reignite that light, to give it a sense of importance that sometimes gets overlooked. So if we're embracing the world with love, what does that look like this year? Maybe it's something that's beyond just the hug that we might extend to somebody, or the salutation of Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. This year, let's go a little bit beyond that. We wrote on the sign outside, if your light is extinguished, come here to be relit. So let us allow that light within us to embrace the world. And each of us has our own unique way of doing just that. How do we express our love? How do we do that on a human level? How do we do that on a spiritual level? For that love of God is in each of us. And so how we express it is the wonderfulness of the humanness of each of us, where we decide how we express it. So I invite you now to go into the silence for just a short period of time so that we can hear that still small voice of God as it guides us. We so seek guidance, but we're so busy not listening to the guidance. So this is that opportunity to be still enough to hear the still small voice of God as we answer the call to embracing the world with our love. Ever so gently bring yourself back to this moment in time of now, and in your own sweet way, give gratitude for this time to just listen to the still small voice of God. And so it is. Amen.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops listen and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops listen and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. Nice time.
When I do dream of a white Christmas, it's not here. Just prefacing that. But speaking of Christmas, we have a little bit of an odd schedule with Christmas this year. There's a laminated piece out on the welcome desk for you to take and pop down on your refrigerator so you can keep abreast of what we're up to, because we have a Christmas candle lighting service which comes on Christmas Eve, which is the 24th, and it's at 5 o'clock, where Donna and the rest of you will join in some caroling for a few moments, and then we'll go into the candle lighting service. And most people want to know, how long will that take? Well, it takes as long as it takes for everybody to light a Christ candle. So what we do here is we have the 12 powers are spread out on a board. And for example, this is one of our 12 powers, and this is the 12th month. So first Sunday of every month, we present a different 12th power. And every year, the chaplains write an affirmation for that power. So the affirmation that you read today was written by the chaplains a year ago. So they've written the 12 affirmative statements, one for each of the 12 powers, already for 2023. The Christmas Eve service is going to present those affirmations for each of the 12 powers that we're going to light. So what happens is the Christ light is in the center, because Christ light is within us, the center of our being. And then on each side is 6 different spiritual faculties. And each faculty has an interpretation that Charles Fillmore has taken, which is one of the co-founders of our movement, to represent a masculine or a feminine attribute. And the reason I bring that up is because the attribute is based on the essence of that spiritual faculty. So today is all about love, which is one of our spiritual faculties. Last week was faith. Now, faith has an emotion behind it. Well, interestingly enough, the faculty of love, and when I say a faculty, I'm talking about something that is innately in us. We do not need to do anything to have that spiritual faculty. Our job is to bring that faculty out, to ignite it, to bring it forth as part of who we are. And love is principle. It's actually on the masculine side. Now, there's not a big emphasis on this, but the important part is that love is not based on emotion, which is very different than what we've been taught, that I feel love, when in fact, it's a principle, and a principle is defined as something that is unalterable. It is always true. While an emotion can vary from time and space and all of that. So being love is innately within us. Just as the sun always rises, you can count on it. Now, there might be clouds, but the sun has always risen. And so, this faculty love that we're speaking about today for our second Sunday of Advent is about knowing that the love within us is all there already. We do not need to seek out love. But the principle of love is innately already part of our beingness. All we have to do is express it. And we can express it impartially without emotions. What? We have a marriage ceremony to express our love for another human being. So this is a little bit of a take back on it. So I bring that up because when we have our Christmas candlelighting service, there will be 12 different candles with affirmations. When you walk through the front door, you'll have an opportunity to choose a small candle with an affirmation wrapped around it. That affirmation is you have chosen that. Somebody's not going to give you the candle. There'll be a basket. You're going to pick it. That's your consciousness. And you get to embody that affirmative statement throughout the year if you choose to. Does that make sense a little bit? So what's going to happen during the candle lighting service and why we can't tell you when it's going to end, it depends on how many people are here. Because each individual person is going to have an opportunity to come up, light their candle for whichever spiritual faculty they're guided to light. Could be all of them, could be one, could be just the Christ light, whatever it is. You get to decide the emphasis that you want to place on that particular spiritual faculty and the affirmation that goes with it. So each month, the affirmation changes based on the spiritual faculty. Make sense? So if 100 people show up, it's going to take us a little longer to get through that. God willing, we have 100 people. That would be an awesome service. And we do it at 5 o'clock where it's dark out. And then this spread of these 12 spiritual faculties light the room. It is a very powerful moment for us to grasp the essentials of why the Christ light is so important in our life. We always want to keep it lit because that's what moves us to do things for ourselves and for other human beings. So the love faculty, the second the second Sunday of Advent, is about expressing our love for another human being. This is the biggie, without expecting anything in return. That is the hardest thing we can do because we give our love because we expect love back. It's kind of the human element of us. If I love you, then why don't you love me? Right? It just kind of happens. When in fact, if we look at the qualities of God, God does not say you have to love me. God just gives the love with no strings attached. And that's what makes us unique from many other religious organizations, because we do not have to seek out God's love. It is the principle of God to always love us, no matter what goofiness we have done or not done. It has no bearing on it. So in our Revealing Word, which is a great little book to have, written also by Charles Fillmore, and he defines certain terms, and he uses biblical references to support his definition, along with the root of the word, the Greek faces of behind the word, and this is how he's describing love. The pure essence of being, that binds together the whole human family. Love. Of all the attributes of God, love is undoubtedly the most beautiful. In divine mind, love is the power that joins and binds in divine harmony the universe and everything in it, the great harmonizing principle known to man. It's what keeps gravity working. Love is the binding, cementing, harmonizing force in the universe. Always. Always, always. Goes on to say, divine love is impersonal. It loves for the sake of loving. It is not concerned with what or who it loves, nor with the return of love. Like the sun, it joys in the shining forth of its nature. You see, how do we express our love toward another human being? It's a $1,000,000 question. Some of us do it by our pocketbooks. We buy gifts for people to show our love. Some people do it by the presence of being in that moment with another human being. The listening, the ability to be present when somebody needs extra care. You see, and it's interesting that we know the story of Christmas. We know this part of our Christmas story. Joseph has discovered that his girlfriend is pregnant, and he's like, "Yo, whoa, wait a second. We haven't had that much wine. I remember. This hasn't happened. How can you possibly be pregnant?" Right? But he does the right thing, however that's defined. And it doesn't matter, the story of the Christ nature. It's irrelevant whether you believe in the conception, how that all happened. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about how he expressed his love for Mary. And he did the right thing. And the rest is history, right? He shows up on the donkey. Now, through the grace of God, we don't have to go back to our homelands for the census. Thank you very much. For the census. I'm not interested in going back to Chicago anytime soon. Certainly not this time of year, right? So we don't have to deal with that. But this man gets on the donkey with a very pregnant woman and gallivants off, right? And we know what happens after that. But he expressed his connection. Now, there's little in the Bible about Joseph. And what we know is during that time, if a woman was not betrothed to somebody, they would follow into a family. A family would pick that person up and care for them. They didn't have a homeless issue. They didn't have people begging on the street. Some family would pick that single woman up and take care of them. If a husband died, somebody picked up that wife and children. So Joseph had an option to push her back onto her family or to do right by her. Whether he ever had a consummated moment with her or not is irrelevant. What's important is that he chose to take care of this woman. Now, because we don't know a whole lot about him, we don't know how long he stayed, and we don't know anything. We know that just by if you want to take some aspects of the Bible literally, so Jesus is 33 years old, and he decides to go off and he's 30 years old. He makes his transitions when he's 33, so he spends 3 years in the ministry, traveling all over the place. Well, his mom is with him for most of that journey. There's no talk of Joseph. At this point, and of course it's 30 years later, so maybe Joseph has moved on or whatever. The point being is that it feels, which is questionable, even for me, it feels like Jesus had an upbringing with a male in the house. It just feels that way. And so he didn't feel like he was raised as a single child, or a single parent household. That's the words I was looking for. It feels like he had a connection with both male and female attributes in his upbringing. It feels that way. Whether it's true or not, we don't know. But the point being is that he's given the principle of love, and he takes it and he lives it. He accepts everybody for, he has his moments just like the rest of us, but he accepts people for just the way they are, and he exudes that love to them. That's why somebody could touch the hem of his garment and instantly be healed, because he didn't have those blockages that prohibit someone from getting into our space. We know what it feels like when somebody gets in our space. We kind of have the heebie-jeebies. You're a little close to me, and we back away. Well, God doesn't back away. God stays in that intimate space of us, never changing, always dependable, always enlightened and waiting for us to exude that same accepting and unconditional love toward each other. The hardest thing we can do is love another human being with no strings attached. Have we ever done that? It's hard. You have to be very, very mindful. You know, where two or more are gathered together, there's bound to be discord. It's the nature of the human element, or it is as much as we've been told it is. But that's man-made. The way we interact with another human being is man-made, which means it can change. But God doesn't change. That love for us is always embedded, impartial, part of our human connection with God. Whether you view God out there, God in here, doesn't matter. God is principle, just as love is principle. It does not need emotions to be expressed. How many of us have ever seen the love in the eyes of a puppy? Right? It just goes, oh, it's so sweet, right? Because that puppy doesn't want anything from us. We feel it, we know it. Now, I can't speak for cats. I understand that cats think they're God and dog thinks we're God. You know, I don't know about all that. But I do know that when we see that, those eyes exuding love for us, it melts our heart. It's like, wow, you know. But doesn't it take care, time, and energy to have that puppy? We got to care for it, right? We have to feed it, we have to wash it, we have to walk it, we have to kick it off the bed, we have to do all these things. And the eyes still say how much they love us. How cool is that? And some puppies show that love even in a distressed houseful. They still exude it with no strings attached. We do that. I heard this week on the news, that we take better care of animals than we do our homeless. And I went, dang, that hit home for me. And I went, why is that? Our human element expects something from other human beings. We expect this, we expect that, whatever it is. When somebody comes to the house, Emily Post says, don't come without a gift. Right? We buy into that. And when somebody comes without a gift, do we get a little bit of a nudge and say, you didn't bring me anything? Or do we just go, wow, welcome to my home, which is what God does, welcomes us with nothing in return. It's easier said than done, but boy, wouldn't that be a beautiful quest to so extend our love with nothing else expected. It can be done, and we have moments where we do it. We might even have a couple of days where we do it. But then it kind of like keeping a diary, then it forgets. You know, we move on and we go back to our humanness where we have expectations. It's easier said than done to love another human being with no expectations. Mothers do it until we get to our terrible twos, right? Moms exude that love for you as an infant, your caretakers. You know, we each have our own little experience of our childhood. But that love in a mother's eyes, especially at the birth cycle, right? It's not just, oh, thank God that's over with, but rather, look what I've created. It's just a beautiful moment, and our heart opens up in a way that we want to have more children, so our heart opens up again. How do we keep our heart open for this season? What do we got to do? And I always say, thank you, Donna, mindfulness. Being mindful. That, to me, is just the be-all and the end-all. To be mindful of our behavior and the way we interact and treat other people. When we're mindful, we can correct what might have been a negative experience. You know, the below the line and above the line behavior. Being mindful and taking a pause changes everything. Changes everything on the way we interact with another human being. If we can let go of our expectations of what we're going to get back and freely give, because don't you want it freely? You know, we talk about affirmative prayer. What are we affirming? We want to affirm a connection with another human being, even if they don't connect back. And it's the gift, the real gift that you can give another human being. So I want to share with you my request for you this week. I'd like you to open your heart to another human being with all of your love. Now, what does that look like? Donna, come up here. I didn't tell her ahead of time, so, right there. I love this woman, right? Most of us do, right? It's an easy slam dunk, right? Yeah, it is. It's because of what she gives us, right? Makes sense. So what do we give back to this beautiful woman? We say thank you, we applause, and she feels good. But what if we gave her this? No words, just an expression, a connection with another human being with our eyes, with love in our eyes. That opens the chakra of the heart and allows that goodness in. Thank you, Donna. So your assignment this week is to give that one person a day. Now, if you want extra homework, give it to somebody you haven't already given it to. It can be a store clerk. It can be anybody. No words. Let your eyes and your emotions give to that other human being. You may be the only one that's done that for them in months. Who knows? But express your love for another human being, and you will be lighting that Christ light within them. And you'll be showing your Christ light. You don't have to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, I love you. They will know what you're doing by your behavior. And that's what unity teaches. Your behavior says what you mean. So, you're not off the hook yet. I want you right now to turn around to somebody next to you and experience each other's love for each other. You don't have to know each other. Just do it. Express yourselves. Practice. I know it becomes a little bit of a chuckle. But to express love and make sure everyone in the room is included. No words. No words. Just be in that moment with another human being. Now, if you didn't get that, raise your hand so we know that everybody in the room was accounted for. Yeah. Love each other. Because love is the universal, cementing, binding force in the universe, and it's yours to freely give. It's yours. So give it freely and see that Christ light shine for them. And join us Christmas Eve, 5 o'clock. Christmas Day is the very next day, right? Christmas Eve, the next day is Christmas, right? Got to be sure. It's a Sunday. So we will have a service here on Sunday, Christmas Day. Don and I are calling it an abbreviated service, 30 minutes. Because if you want to be infilled, you have that opportunity. Bring family and friends, still go out to breakfast, whatever your gig is, 10 o'clock, and we'll be out of here by 10:30. But I couldn't fathom not having something on Christmas Day. It just didn't make sense to me. So join us for Christmas Eve for that wonderful Christ night, and then join us on Christmas Day where we can celebrate the Christ light. So thank you and God bless. So this is the time in our service where we give over our gifts and our love offerings and our tithes. And I want to ask you, if you're a first-timer here, this is the first time you've been with us, I invite you to not contribute. You're our guest. You're our guest, and we would like you to be our guest, which means you do not have to contribute for us, and we appreciate that. So let us affirm our offertory prayer. Would you folks come on up, and we'll do the prayer up here. Come on down. Our offertory prayer. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. And so it is.
I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my love over the mountains. I send my love over the sea. I send my love into the heavens, and it returns to me. I send my joy.
But I swear, together using the pronouns us and we. Divine love, as us, blesses and multiplies all that we are, all that we have, all that we give, and all that we receive, and we are grateful. We see these gifts going out into the universe and blessing all the many hands that they come in contact with. Not just our ministry, but all the many facets that we contribute to. And we know that these gifts are truly blessed. As we receive, we so freely give. And for this we are grateful. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. Now I'd like to invite Reverend Anne Marie up to give us a brief announcement.
Short people. Unity Spiritual Center is hosting what may be first annual, we'll see how that works out, energy healing event, January 15th, 2023. Can you believe 2023? It's going to be on a Sunday after service from about 12 until 3 o'clock. We'll have energy healers in the community room. We'll have meditation here in the sanctuary with trained energy workers moving through the space here, sharing energy with individuals. It's going to be a very powerful experience, and it takes a village, and we are that village. And Lisa McCarthy, Joe Hughes, the three of us have been putting our heads together for quite a few months now with Reverend Mo and with Tracy to bring this to pass. And we're inviting you to be part of it. There are various volunteer opportunities here. So today, after the service, we'll be meeting in the community room in the back of the room. I have some sheets there all laid out to see what's necessary that we can see at this time, and you may be able to see something else. So please join with us so that we can make this happen in a way that invites the community in, brings that space of togetherness and unity here in a very healing way. And because we know that that healing extends out into our planet. Thank you.
I want to call out somebody. Marilyn Houston. She's like, what? Miss Marilyn, would you please stand? Marilyn Houston has chosen to become a governing member of our organization. And with that, she has voting privileges in our annual meeting in February. And in our annual meeting, we do the budget, we do as well, and vote in new board members and whatever other business might be paramount. So I would like to extend a blessing for Miss Marilyn. So together, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ as you. And so it is. Amen. Thank you. So now I want to recognize our guests today. How many of you are new with us today? If you'll just gently stand up. Yeah. Hi, guys. Yeah, stand up. Yeah, be present. Yay. Excellent. Excellent, excellent. Thank you. Please remain standing as we do a blessing for you as well. Together, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ as you. And I hope that you filled out one of these cards for us. You may sit, thank you. I hope you filled out one of these cards so we can stay in touch with you. I'm always curious as to find out how you heard about us. It's always a little thing that I do every Wednesday when we come back into church. Oh, wait, how'd they hear? But, so please do fill out the card and join us in our community room today for coffee, snacks, and you get to chat. We get to chat with you and just see what you guys are all about. So come join us for that, and thank you for being here. So now, why don't we stand for our peace song and our prayer for protection.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment